I just realized I had my microphone on the whole time. But aside from that, the songs I'll be listening to are from the Minecraft Volume Alpha, but with the Super Mario 64 sound font, specifically made by the Critical Tabby. I don't know how to block out the stuff over here, but this is the name and who it is. I'm not done quite yet getting ready. I'm still working in the file holder to remake a bit of the turnarounds. And adjust them a bit. I'm not using my Tie-Dye 101 account, I just not realized, so none of it will be saved. My edits, but I will have the SVG files regardless. I'm sorry if you hear my dogs. Again, well, actually, I've only told one person this, so it's not it's not a again. Instead, as a bit of information. The original files were made using the Blender 4.0, so I've lost access to actually open them. So now I'm just gonna go about and just and fiddle with that for a moment. I am not going to be remaking certain things. Purpley. I know that I don't have my screen shared, but that's because I'm going through my files. Okay. Now, I have to remember exactly how to go about doing this, but I know I can delete those. And then open ports SVG. And there they are. Oh, there's scalable vector graphics. I do not want that. Can I import them as grease pencil? Yes. Okay, I only imported the front. Okay, so that's one. How tall do I want Purpley to be? 2. I'm gonna give him a 2x2x2. Wait, that would make him smaller than 1 meter. 3x3x3 might be better. I just now realized I don't know his height. I have started the stream rather early to get the setup updated. So I'm just going to ask the person that makes these. I am going to import the next SVG. This is front. Yeah, I'm going to import the other SVG while I wait for the response from the creator of Purpley and Greany. I'm just going to give this one the same scale factor, side, and also rotate it -90. -90. Now let's put them on the same plane. Okay, let's put Slotty in half. I'm sorry that this is taking so long. I'm just gonna save it real quick. Oh yeah, when working with wireframe, this is what you'd be seeing when I'm modeling. Hero is typing, it says. At least that's how I'm going to refer to the creator. Something's wrong. Hold on, I'm gonna be checking something. Okay. Okay, I've got the answer. Oh, wrong one. So, Purpley is 1.1 height. So I'm gonna hide the side so I don't have to worry about it for now. It's about 1.8. This is all about trial and error. This one. Oh, I forgot to check if it's with hat or without. I probably should have checked this all through before starting. Appears 1.9 might be the height. Yeah, 1.9 is the height. Okay, actually it's 1.85 because it's just ever so slightly too tall. And this is just the scale of the vector, which will set them just a little bit shorter. I'm going to copy this. Okay, there's the Purpley. That did mess up the sides angling a bit, but I can always just fix it. It is very important that this is centered with where I'm putting the bones. I've also seen an issue at the front, so I'm going to quickly fix that in modeling. I want to take these shapes and these shapes, just slide them over a bit, and take these two and slide them over a bit. Take that there, that there, that there, that there. Actually, I could just delete this leg. Instead, just focus on this one and making sure that it's aligned with how I want the body. I should also shift the body over slightly. Now I think that I could just do that with every bit. It's very important that none of these go over the line. Okay, that should be good. I just realized this is slightly gone up. Okay, that should fix the scaling for that. The position of the eyes don't matter because, by technicality, this model will be done like that. I'm gonna link them in. Actually, I should make the side eye panel and shift it down a bit. And take the eye and move it down. Again, a major part of making a model is making sure that it will for certain fit within the range that is given. And the hat needs to be a little taller. There. Again, that's why the turnaround vector matters, because now I can do that. And actually going back to the front, I can remove this, as it does. As when working with a 3D model like this, I only need this half to look how I want it. Speaking of that, I want to shift this eye over a bit. Again, the eyes will be rendered through a separate pipeline. So how does that look with color? Relatively nicely. Oh no, now I've got the conundrum of whether or not Purpley is a predator or a herbivore. Well, aside from that, I can now make... Well, Purpley is going to be made into two separate objects, being one is the hat, because the hat will completely come off the model by itself, and another would be the body, head, eye, and everything else, which will be one piece. I am going to be making Purpley naked for the sake of simplicity. Before I had him in like this, like a shirt, where if you looked under it, it would be absolutely no model, and it was a nightmare with normals and all that in of itself. But for Purpley, he shall be treated better. Kind of looks sad with color because his hat and rim. I think Purpley's boy. Okay, Purpley is a pet predator. Good to know. So that means now I need to go back and decide and make sure that it's right within the thing. This is a sphere. I just have to keep that in mind. And now Purpley should now make sense within 3D space. Yeah, I guess it doesn't really matter what the side says. Mostly the front, because when I've looked at all art of Purpley, it's all from the front. So if the front looks good, the side would not really matter, and nor would the back. Even then, you'd only see the back of Purpley, so things like eye positioning wouldn't really matter, except for just like tiny immersion details. They will still be here, but not to the extent that are like a focus point. Purpley will also have a mouth. I do have to keep that in mind, because there will be two screens. Wait, no, it would be one screen looking at both of them. Yeah, I think I've got everything. One thing I'll hate is having to remake the player controller slightly to work with the new model. You know, I'm going to stop talking and procrastinating and just start working on the hat. Oh yeah, and also the original model was box modeled, which is overall not a good thing to do. Okay, now where's modifiers? Mirror. Purpley's smaller than a box. If I've done that correctly, yep. Okay, there's the widest point in that direction. Now comes the funner part. Add a loop cut there. And in the same move, I'm going to remove this face into this face. So when I go back into side view, I can then take this back. And then take a halfway of cut like that. Actually, I could just delete that for to see. Do something a little better, at least in my opinion. Which is just mark out the shape of the hat. I almost forgot for a moment that this is supposed to be low poly. So I'm just getting the general shape. I've been testing out more into making low poly models. I've done it more within Greany 2 itself. Almost forgot to show normals. Normals are which way the faces are showing. If I did not have the normals, like without the normals there would be no shape that is visible. Now this is the centermost. So next up is to slowly migrate all these points into a circle. So starting with this one, which would be the topmost, I can take that one down and extend it out this way, I think. Which can give me half a circle. There's one line. Now for the brim, I'm gonna take that dot. I need to make an in-between. Okay, now to make sure I've done the math correctly, because I'm mostly just eyeballing it. Okay, I did do it correctly. And there's the next set of rings. Actually, I should take this point out a little bit further. Make another point that sort of ends that. Won't make much of a difference because this will be colored black. But it will add a little to the shape of the overall hat. Now I'm going to make an in-between of this, but on this side. Where it's like that. And it'll also go inward. Also, if not clear, the hat is just a 3D model and won't actually be deformed, so as long as it looks good, it will be good. There's the entire brim now done. And I also forgot something very important. The outside's what goes down that far, so the inside needs brought up a bit. Make much of a difference when viewed in game, but will make a difference at least in my mind. And now to just fill in this spot with a few more, just to round out the shape. Okay, the back of the head's a little blocky. This looks like a really wide chipmunk head. Okay, now I can apply stone modeling. And now in shading, we can set this to shade smooth, which will remove any imperfection. Meaning now, I spent 30 minutes making a hat that looks like a hat. And again, those triangles are almost entirely invisible. That has the proper silhouette. I could probably make this less of a visible expansion, but instead a more subtle one. I forgot I turned off the mirror modifier. Oh, it's just a rather specific thing. And even then, I'd probably fix it with Greany because her hat will be smaller either way. So there's one done. Thank you to the 2 people currently watching. I'm just checking that. Okay. Now, I am done with the hat. So for the front and side, I can just take that line and just delete them. Oh no, it's bald. I forgot to put it on his hair. Oh, well, it's a rather specific thing, and even then the hat wouldn't come that far off. And actually, I'll double check it. What did Purpley's hair look like? Oh, crackers. I'm gonna, like a favorite, the original file holder. Okay. Ah! That's what his hair looks like. Okay, good. I think you just make the adjustment here on the side profile specifically. Front. So it's specifically that portion of the model. Forgot to turn back on the monitor. So here's the vector. Mainly to emulate the fact that he had a hat on, I'm going to make it less pointed. So here I go. There, that should be the first one. And if I turn on the hats, I need to make sure that this would fall within the hat's limits. Again, he will have his hair. It just won't be as plumphous as it should otherwise be. But I'm really upset that this isn't really quite realistic of hair for this character to have with a hat. So I'm gonna give this one a little bit more squash. It will still be there though. Again, I only have this image to go off of, I think. Yes. How in the world would this, though, fit into this? Well, I guess the hat is sideways in the front view and not forwards like I've been doing. 'Cause, again, I'm doing, like, this one specifically. Also, when I say that I'm doing Purpley naked, I mean, like, think of this as a onesie and not just a shirt. Because I'm not doing pants again. Like, the separation of pants and a shirt. I've done that before, I do not like doing it. And even then, it's a rather specific thing to notice. So if I hadn't told you at all, you probably would never even noticed in the game itself. there's a sad little droop of hair. Now to do the same to the side. Again, it's just making sure that this matches this height for where I think the hair is, for which I'm gonna make it more base into the front and the back. Again, hat, to keep it in mind. Okay, there's the adjustment. Technically, it's all fuzz now that I think about it. I'm only going to get the Purpley model done, unlike the name of this as possibly Greany. But oh well, it's best to have at least one. Okay, now, time for the first mesh. The cube. Or the second mesh. Which I'll name body. I will not be doing the UV unwrapping on stream though. I might actually, now that I think about it. It's so boring. I hate it. I have a lot to talk about. I just now realized. So the highest point is there. And the lowest point, at least what I'm doing, is here. I'm gonna get the head modeled, and the widest are there. Which then I could take these here, here, and now to decimate the model. Because I'm only going to take this middle strip, delete vertices, delete vertices. So that leaves me with the middle strip. And the ability to just add a loop cut here, here, and here. Again, sorry if you hear the pupper. I'm going to adjust this up by one. That means that Purpley is only 0.9 meters tall, according to the render. Though it does mean that I can use literal building blocks to build the map. Aside from that, I can now move this to this height. So in the front, I can begin, well, not directly. The side I can now directly, though, make the side profile. Dots. So it will be a slight cuboid that makes up his hair. Very important that I make this four faces long from top of the eye to the mouth, because otherwise I won't be able to turn it into a proper thing, for which the back doesn't really matter. Just has to match the circle count. Which means now if I were to turn off the front and side, that is the shape of his head that I'm working with. Anything extra now is just micromanagement of certain issues like, oh, this dot might be a little too low. Now to view from the front again, where's the neck? Okay, so this dot, not even needed. And instead I can have this dot end on the neck. And from the side, I can do the same thing. This dot will end on the neck, and this dot will end on the neck. And that dot will become the midpoint, which will connect there and there. Which means now, I just need to connect all these dots. And before I start doing that though, I'm going to take the highest point of this, and use it to trace out the, like, flatter hair strands. And then set slightly inward if the dot's already there, because it is the next point. This one would then need to sort of match it, but not completely. I don't want it to be completely flat, so how can I go about making that? Well, I guess I could just add another point, like there. Which means then that could be a trapezoid, and that could be a trapezoid. Which then I can also extend to the other side. And all that I need to make sure that this slightly goes back for that. So that's more of a cone. Forgot about the mirroring. I'll worry about that later. Actually, I could just make that face now. That face now. Okay, they're both facing the wrong way. Okay, that flips the normals, so now they're facing the right way. Again, at the end of the day, I will need to fix that. And this part would just be shade smoothed, so it doesn't matter if it's a little off as long as it's got that overall hair silhouette. There, now the rest of the model will be the face making. For which, to get back to it, I need to get back to making sure that this dot makes the interface. I want to take this edge though and move it. Again, the hair is something that you probably won't ever see. But it is still nice to have it there. For which now it's just time to pair up these. Because again, this would just become the face plates of sorts, so it doesn't need too much detail. Yep. Yep, that makes it a different shape. And these three become one. All that really matters is that this looks like a circle and sphere when looked at from almost any angle. I guess that could be a little more exaggerated. I'm gonna mute now. I'll be right back. Sorry for making you wait, but I will be leaving my microphone turned off. I will say this side will be removed. As only this side will have the hair. So this side will be cut down a bit. The bottle is now complete, 30 minutes over the time, and the only thing changed really is making sure that the hat and the body do not intersect, while making sure the body still looks good. The hair has to stay under the hat, mostly except for this one bit, to ensure that it looks logical in 3D space. Because I could always just have the hair pop up when the hat falls off, to be more noticeable. But for now, thank you for watching if you've made it this far, and have a nice night. Bye-bye.